All right, so today
Yeah.
we're gonna dive into some pretty fascinating stuff,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
It might not sound all that exciting at first,
Right.
but it's all about restructuring key operations methods.
Mm-hmm. I think that's something that people
Like I know it doesn't
don't
exactly sound
think about too much.
like a page turner, right?
Yeah.
But actually,
Really interesting.
this stuff has a huge impact
Yeah.
on our lives.
Like in the real world.
Yeah, totally. And that's exactly what we're gonna unpack today.
Yeah.
We really want to understand like how companies kind of shake things up. You know,
Yeah.
why they do it,
Mm-hmm.
how they do it,
Absolutely.
and what it means
Yeah.
for
For all of us.
everyone.
Us average Joes out there.
Yeah, exactly. We've got some excerpts here
Yeah.
from a text that we're going to be pulling from, and I think you'll find it pretty interesting.
It is. Yeah. It's really fascinating how
Yeah.
companies sort of adapt.
Yeah.
And what that means for, all the rest of us.
Yeah.
The economy at large, employees, consumers,
Okay, cool. So first up,
Yeah.
we've got process reengineering,
Okay.
or as the cool kids call it,
Yeah.
BPR.
BPR.
Catchy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't like
Yeah.
just like tinkering around the edges. This is like
Yeah.
hitting the reset button.
Yeah. This is like a
Good big.
fundamental change.
Yeah. I'm imagining like a company that's still using fax machines.
Oh my goodness.
The Stone Ages.
I know.
Yeah.
Like inter-office memos
Right.
when we have, like instant communication
Yeah.
and all this automation and stuff.
It's amazing that some companies still function like that.
So why?
I guess,
Yeah.
the bigger they are, the harder it is to
But that's what I was going to ask you. Like, why
change, right?
does BPR even become necessary?
Yeah, yeah. Well, sometimes those old systems, they just become roadblocks.
Yeah.
Especially as companies grow
Yeah.
or as technology,
Mm-hmm.
rapidly changes. You can imagine how inefficient it is.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
And just frustrating.
Yeah, for everyone involved.
Totally.
Yeah.
So BPR is really about
It's about recognizing
that. Yeah.
when the old ways are holding you back
Mm-hmm.
and just taking a
Yeah.
clean slate.
It seems drastic,
Yeah.
but kind of exciting at the same time.
It is. It's a major undertaking.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the payoffs
Uh-huh.
potentially are huge, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a streamlined process can mean,
Hmm.
faster turnaround times, fewer errors,
Yeah.
happier customers,
Makes sense.
and a more competitive edge.
Yeah.
So it's really about
Okay.
not just incremental improvements, but
Right.
a quantum leap forward.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to something that's always a little bit controversial.
Oh, yeah, this is a fun one.
Yeah. Outsourcing and offshoring.
Mm-hmm.
Some people see this as like a
Yeah, it's
like
like a lot of cost.
cost-cutting measure.
Yeah.
Other people say it's strategic. It's about
Yeah, different perspectives on it.
yeah,
Absolutely.
growth and efficiency.
Yeah.
What's the real story?
Well, it's definitely more than just chasing cheap labor.
Okay.
I think,
Yeah.
a good way to think about it is that companies are focusing on what they're good at,
Yeah,
what they excel at,
makes sense.
right? Their core competencies,
Mm.
and they're, kind of delegating other tasks to other people, right?
Yeah.
To specialized providers. So
Yeah.
it's really about,
Okay.
maximizing efficiency
Yeah,
and expertise.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
So like a tech startup
exactly.
might outsource customer service so their engineers can
Yeah, so the engineers can,
focus on
yeah,
building the product.
building a great product.
Yeah. They're not good at both. So
Sure. Exactly.
why not let the experts handle it?
That's right.
Yeah.
It allows companies to streamline operations,
Yeah.
allocate resources strategically.
Okay.
But,
Right.
there are downsides, of course, as the text points out. You
Yeah.
know?
Like what?
Well, quality control can be a concern,
Yeah.
and companies need to really be on top of
Mm-hmm.
ethical considerations like
Right.
fair labor practices,
Yeah.
working conditions, those kinds of things.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's not just about
It's not just about
the bottom line.
the bottom line.
Right. It's
Yeah.
about making responsible choices,
Right.
for everyone involved.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on to
to
another interesting dynamic here. Centralization versus decentralization.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like this, like
Right.
tug of war,
Yeah. Who's got the power, right?
Yeah. Between like control and flexibility.
Exactly.
So when does it make sense
Yeah.
to centralize?
Well, it really depends on the company.
Yeah.
The structure, goals, the industry,
Okay.
centralization can lead to consistency,
Yeah.
efficiency, but it can also lead to bottlenecks,
Right.
slow decision making,
Yeah.
especially in fast-paced environments.
Okay, so like a global company might centralize its financial operations.
Right.
So they've good control and oversight.
Yeah, makes sense.
But then decentralize its marketing
Yeah.
to like cater to regions.
Exactly, to be more agile and responsive
Totally.
to what's happening
Yeah.
on the ground.
That makes sense.
So it's really about finding the right balance for each situation.
Cool. Okay, so now for the topic.
Right.
That gets everyone really excited.
I know, this is my favorite one.
I know, right? Technology integration and automation.
Oh, but...
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about robots taking over. It's really about
Right.
making work smarter,
Exactly.
not harder.
Work smarter, not harder.
I'll admit,
Mm-hmm.
I get a little excited when I think about the possibilities,
Me too.
but I do wonder if sometimes companies just kind of jump on the
Yeah, the bandwagon.
tech bandwagon without really
Absolutely.
thinking about the implications.
Yeah, without a clear strategy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a valid concern.
It is.
The text really emphasizes that
Yeah.
careful planning,
Yeah.
execution is really important here. I mean, just throwing tech at a problem isn't going to
Right.
solve anything.
Just creates more problems sometimes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You have to address
And you need to make sure that
the underlying issue.
the employees are trained,
Right.
properly.
Otherwise, you just have an extensive paperweight.
Yeah, exactly.
So tech is a tool.
It is a powerful one.
It is. But you have to know how to use it.
You got to know how to use it.
Yeah.
And you got to have the right strategy behind it.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to something I think we kind of take for granted.
Okay.
Supply chain optimization.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds.
It's just how we get stuff from point A to point B.
Right, exactly. Why is this so important?
Right. Well, I mean, it's actually more complex than that, right?
Right.
It's really like a fragile web of all these interconnected processes and, disruptions can really...
I mean, like the pandemic really showed us how fragile things are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The pandemic really showed us how fragile these systems can be.
Totally.
And optimization is about making them more robust, more resilient, more adaptable to these challenges.
Imagine like a furniture company.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That relies on one supplier for wood.
Right. And then what happens?
It didn't happen.
If that supplier shuts down,
You can't make anything.
they're done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. So it's about diversifying suppliers, having backup plans.
Yeah.
Using technology to manage inventory
Totally.
in real time.
Okay. On to a topic
Okay.
that can be a little
sensitive.
sensitive, yeah. Right sizing or resizing?
Mm-hmm.
I know these terms are often associated with like
Yeah, they can be.
layoffs and downsizing.
Right, and those are tough decisions.
Yeah, and those are tough for everyone involved.
For everyone involved.
Oh, why?
But why would a company make that choice?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just necessary
Okay.
to stay competitive, right?
Yeah.
To adapt to changing markets.
Yeah.
Or even to survive.
Okay.
Think about a traditional retail store struggling to compete
Right.
with online giants.
Yeah, totally.
You might need to...
Close underperforming stores
Right.
invest more in their online presence.
Right. So it's not always about
Exactly.
cutting costs. It's about...
It's about strategically reallocating resources.
to areas that...
Right, where it make more sense.
More sense.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's not always about shrinking.
Yeah, right sizing can be about retraining.
Yeah.
Getting new talent with new skills, expanding into new markets even.
Yeah.
It's really about aligning the workforce
Okay.
with where the company's headed.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Talk about performance management and KPI realignment. So I'm guessing KPIs are those like metrics companies use to track how they're doing.
They are.
But how does that fit into all of this?
Right. I mean, think of KPIs as sort of like a compass that guides a company on its journey, right?
Yeah.
They're giving you these measurable indicators of how well the business is performing,
Okay.
right, against its goals.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes companies are tracking the wrong KPIs or they're misaligned.
So it's like setting out on a road trip
Exactly.
with the wrong directions.
With a faulty GPS.
Yeah.
Right.
You might be driving really efficiently,
You might be driving great,
but you're going to end up in the wrong place.
but you're going to end up in the wrong place. Yeah. KPI realignment is about making sure you're tracking the right things.
Okay.
So you're going to end up in the right place.
So like a company that prioritizes customer satisfaction, but only tracks sales.
Yeah, they're missing all that.
They're missing all this data.
Crucial data.
About the customer experience.
Right. About what the customers actually want.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting to like the heart of it all now.
All right, the heart of the matter.
Yeah, cultural and organizational change.
Yeah.
You can't just like...
Right, you can't just...
rearrange the furniture.
Rearrange the deck chairs.
And expect everything to be fine.
Right, it's about the people. Right, that's what the text emphasizes.
Okay.
Clear communication, employee involvement, strong leadership.
People need to understand why.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They need to understand what's happening, why it's happening.
Yeah.
They need to feel like they're part of the process.
Right.
Not just subject to it.
Otherwise, you just get...
Right. Otherwise, you get resistance. Fear, a drop in morale.
Yeah.
It's like trying to steer a ship without the crew, you know?
I remember reading about this company that tried to implement remote work without thinking about the culture.
Yeah, without addressing the cultural shift.
It was a mess.
It's a disaster.
It really backfired.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to think about that stuff.
So it's not just about changing processes, right?
It's about changing. It's about changing mindsets, behaviors, the whole fabric of how people work together. And that takes time and effort and commitment. Right. All right, let's wrap up this part. Okay. With a concept that sounds nice, but actually makes a lot of sense. Right. Customer-centric restructuring. Oh, yeah. I love this one.
So this is about putting the customer at the center.
At the heart of it.
Of every decision. Okay, I love this in theory.
It sounds great, right.
But how does it actually work? Is it just about having, like, friendly customer service?
Right.
Or sending out surveys?
Yeah, it's much more than that.
Okay.
It's about understanding the entire customer journey.
Okay.
From the first time they interact with your company to, you know, their ongoing experience.
Right.
It's about understanding their pain points.
Yeah.
Streamlining the processes.
Okay.
To create a seamless and, you know, really enjoyable experience.
Right, yeah.
That builds loyalty.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Advocacy.
So it's not just about meeting their needs.
It's about exceeding expectations.
It's about exceeding expectations.
Bring them value.
Like Amazon. They've built an empire on this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They make it so easy.
Yeah, they do.
To shop, to track orders, to get help.
Yeah.
That's a big part of their success.
Yeah. So it's really about shifting.
It's about shifting the focus.
The focus from internal operations to
the inside out.
External impact.
To the outside in, recognizing that happy customers are really the foundation.
Totally.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
We covered a lot.
We covered a lot.
Yeah.
It's clear that restructuring is so much more.
It's more than
just like cutting costs.
Cutting costs.
Or chasing trends.
Right. It's about adapting, evolving.
Yeah.
Positioning yourself for success.
Yeah. But we're not done yet.
There's more to come.
Stay tuned for part 2 where we'll
we're going to delve into
explore the human
side of it all.
Of restructuring.
Yeah.
And how to manage change effectively.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see you soon.
See you then. You know, as we kind of dig deeper into all this, it really strikes me that the human side of this is often overlooked.
Yeah, totally. We've been talking about systems and strategies and all this stuff, but ultimately it's people who to actually do all this.
Make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, any kind of change like this, no matter how well-intentioned.
Yeah, it's going to create uncertainty,
anxiety,
fear, all that stuff.
So how do companies navigate that?
Yeah, that's a great question.
What insights does the text give us on that?
Well, the text really stresses clear communication.
Yeah.
You know, consistent, empathetic communication.
Like not just a top-down announcement.
Yeah.
And then silence, right?
Radio silence.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
No, you just get rumors and...
Yeah, all sorts of
speculation.
Yeah. So companies really need to...
keep people in the loop.
Keep people in the loop, yeah.
Yeah.
Explain why they're making the choices they're making.
Yeah.
And just be really responsive, you know.
Okay.
To their concerns, their questions.
It's about building trust, right?
It's about transparency, building trust.
Yeah, okay. What about employee involvement?
Yeah, that's another good one.
Is it just about communicating, or can you actually get people...
Yeah, I mean, to text really...
feel like they're part of the solution?
Yeah, the power of giving employees a voice in the process. You know, when they feel like their opinions are valued, that they have some control, they're much more likely to embrace the change.
So instead of just like dictating from the top, create a dialogue.
Dialogue, feedback, co-creation, town hall meetings, online forums, task forces.
So it's like we're all in this together, not like
we're all in this together.
This is happening to me.
Not this is happening to me.
Yeah, but of course you need
but all of that requires
leadership,
strong leadership, empathetic leadership
to steer the ship,
Absolutely, They need to be visible and accessible.
Be present,
Present,
Okay, I want to talk about technology.
Okay,
It seems like everyone's obsessed with the latest and greatest tech.
Yeah, the shiny new object syndrome.
Yeah, but is it all hype or is it really necessary?
Well, I mean, the text makes an important distinction between, just adopting technology for the sake of it versus using it strategically.
So the right tools for the job.
The right tools for the job.
Not just because it's cool and new. You have to assess your needs.
Absolutely.
Figure out what.
Yeah, and think about how it's going to
works best.
Integrate with your existing systems.
Yeah, totally.
And think about the impact on your workforce.
Right, yeah.
I mean, technology can automate tasks.
Yeah.
But it also creates opportunities, right?
For people to do new things. Yeah.
For upskilling, for new roles.
Right. Finding that balance between the technology and people.
That sweet spot.
Okay, so now for the theta.
All right, data. Everybody loves data.
I'm intrigued, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really about moving beyond, gut feelings and assumptions. And using data.
Using data to
just make decisions.
Drive decisions, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But restructuring should be based on, a clear understanding of where you are now, where you want to go, and how you're going to measure progress.
So using data to
to diagnose problems. Identify areas for improvement. Measure the impact.
It's almost like a scientific approach.
It is. It's a data-driven approach.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
It seems like it's not about a rigid formula.
Yeah.
It's
more about adapting. Right, exactly. So the methods we talked about, they're not one-size-fits-all solutions. They're more like
principles and
principles and tools that companies can use to navigate this stuff.
It's a framework,
It's a framework, And that's why it's so important for leaders to understand these methods.
Understand them.
Understand how they all work together.
And how to apply them in different situations.
Exactly.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Is there anything our listeners can do to make this feel less overwhelming?
Yeah, I think the key is to approach it.
Yeah.
In a structured, manageable way.
Okay.
Don't
do everything at once.
Boil the ocean.
Yeah. Right. One step at a time.
One step at a time.
Right.
Set clear goals.
Yeah.
Track your progress.
So break it down into
manageable chunks.
Into bite-sized pieces.
And it's not a one-time thing, right?
Right. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah. To keep
always adapting, always improving.
Adapting.
Yeah.
Companies need to be agile.
Absolutely.
Always.
You got to be comfortable with change.
Looking for ways to improve.
That's the mindset you need.
Okay, there's one more thing we need to
what's that?
Talk about before we wrap up this part.
Yeah.
Ethics.
Yes. Ethics. That's a big one.
We touched on it a little bit with outsourcing, but...
We did, but it deserves more attention.
I think it deserves more attention.
Absolutely.
Because all of this has a huge...
this stuff has an
impact on people.
Huge impact on people's lives.
Yeah.
Both inside the company and outside the company.
We have to.
So we can't forget about the ethical... Think about the ethical...
implications of our decisions.
So it's not just about what's...
Exactly. Not just about the law.
Or what makes the most money. It's about...
And not just about the bottom line.
Doing the right thing.
It's about doing the right thing.
Yeah. Okay, so like with right sizing.
Okay, yeah.
Which often means people lose their jobs.
Right.
How do you do that?
Tough decisions.
Ethically?
Yeah. I mean, transparency is huge there.
Yeah.
People deserve to know.
They need to know.
What's happening as early as possible.
Yeah.
They need to understand.
And what the criteria are for.
The criteria for making those decisions.
Those decisions, yeah.
No surprises, no backroom deals.
Okay, so you're treating people...
Treat people with dignity.
Fairly.
With respect.
Yeah.
Even when it's tough.
Okay, what about outsourcing?
Okay.
We talked about...
Yeah, the potential for exploitation.
Overseas factories, all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How do you avoid those ethical pitfalls?
You got to do your homework.
Okay.
You got to vet your suppliers.
You're going to make sure...
Make sure they're adhering to ethical practices, safe working conditions.
Fair wages.
Fair wages.
Yeah.
And you can even use...
So it's not just about...
And an auditor.
The cheapest.
Not just about the bottom line.
Option.
Yeah. You got to hold your partners accountable.
Yeah, to the same standards.
It's the same standards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
What about technology?
Yeah, good question.
Are there ethical considerations?
I mean, as AI and automation become more powerful, we have to think about the impact on jobs.
Right, yeah.
On the workforce.
Yeah, we don't want to just automate people out of their jobs.
It's about using technology responsibly.
Responsibly.
Ethically.
So helping people adapt?
Yeah, creating opportunities for upskilling.
Okay.
It's about balance.
Balance, yeah.
Between progress and human well-being.
Okay, so it seems like ethics needs to be part of the conversation from
the beginning.
From the start.
Yeah.
Not an afterthought.
Absolutely.
And I have a feeling that companies that prioritize ethical behavior are going to attract.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Better talent, better customer relationships.
I think it's good for business.
Yeah.
And it's the right thing to do.
And it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
Win-win.
Okay, that's a great place to wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
We've talked about the specifics.
Yeah.
The importance of putting people first.
Absolutely.
And the ethical considerations.
Very important.
But we're not done yet.
There's more to come.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we're
going to take a step back.
Zoom out and look at the bigger picture.
The bigger picture.
See you soon.
See you then.
So, you know, we've talked about all these methods. The human side, the ethics.
Right.
And I'm thinking, it all kind of boils down to control.
Control, yeah. I mean, companies want to control their destiny.
Totally. Especially in this like crazy world where things are changing so fast.
When things are so unpredictable.
Yeah. So whether it's streamlining processes or, you know, adopting new technologies, changing the culture.
Shaping the culture.
It's all about trying to...
trying to...
get a great...
create a sense of order, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's...
like amidst all the chaos.
Yeah. I mean, it's a natural human impulse. Yeah. Right? Especially when things are changing so rapidly.
But here's the thing.
But sometimes to gain control, you have to let go.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, think about decentralization.
Okay.
You know, you empower people lower down. You're giving up a little bit of control at the top. But you're creating an organization that's more agile, more responsive.
Yeah, like if you want to go fast, go alone.
Yeah.
If you want to go far, go together.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You're distributing the power to the people who are closest to the action, who have the most relevant expertise.
And that same principle applies to...
Yeah, it applies to other methods too.
Like what?
Like customer-centric restructuring.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you have to let go of your ideas about what you think customers want.
And really listen to what they're saying.
To the customers.
Yeah. It's about being...
It's about being a little vulnerable.
Vulnerable, yeah.
Recognizing that you don't have all the answers. Yeah. And being open to...
learning.
Learning and adapting.
Yeah, so it's like shifting from control to...
to collaboration.
Collaboration. Continuous learning.
So this makes me think about disruption.
Oh, yeah, disruption.
Which is kind of a buzzword. It is. Everyone's talking about it.
But it's usually seen as a bad thing.
Right. Something to be afraid of.
But maybe it's an opportunity.
I think it can be.
Yeah.
I mean, disruption can be unsettling.
Yeah.
But it forces you to confront your weaknesses.
Right.
Rethink your assumptions.
And come up with new ideas.
Yeah. Innovate and evolve.
Yeah. So instead of...
It can be a catalyst for...
resisting change.
Positive change.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe even anticipate it.
I think the companies that are really successful are the ones that are constantly scanning the horizon.
Right. Looking for those.
Looking for what's coming. Yeah. And adapting.
Okay. So
they don't see change as a threat. Yeah. They see it as inevitable.
What does all of this mean for...
Right. Yeah, that's a good question.
Like regular people.
Yeah, what does it mean for...
trying to navigate this crazy world.
The average Joe.
Yeah.
I think the key takeaway is adaptability.
Adaptability.
It's not optional anymore. It's essential.
In your career, your life.
Yeah, in every aspect of life. Yeah. You got to be flexible.
You have to be able to open to
change.
Yeah.
Willing to learn and adapt.
So it's not just about what, you know, it's about
how you think.
How you think, yeah.
It's about a growth mindset.
Yeah.
Lifelong learning.
That's empowering.
Yeah, it is empowering.
We're not just
along for the ride.
A passive recipient.
Yeah.
You can shape your own destiny.
Okay, well said.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot today.
We have.
The methods, human side, ethics.
The big picture.
The big picture.
It's been a great conversation.
It has. I hope our listeners.
Yeah, I hope they got a lot out of it.
Have learned something today.
Mm-hmm.
But before we go,
yes,
I have one last question for you and for our listeners.
Right, shoot.
What industry or company would you like to see restructure?
Oh, that's a good one.
And why? Yeah, and how would you do it?
Yeah. Share your thoughts with us on social media.
Yeah, let us know.
Using the hashtag #DeepDiveRestructuring.
We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Keep diving deep.
Stay curious.
Stay curious.
And
embrace change.
Embrace change.